G'day friends, it's Andrew Goodall here again from Nature's Image Photography, and in this video I'm going to give you part 1 of my full setup of the PANASONIC LUMIX G9. I've made a lot of videos about individual functions, but I think it's time to see if we can bring it all together into one place. I did something similar in April 2020, but with 2 years more experience and 2 big firmware updates, a lot of things have changed since then. Now there's such a lot to cover, I'm going to break this up into 2 videos. This first one will be of particular interest to people who've just got their G9 or are thinking of buying one. It's a quick guide to navigating the buttons, dials and essential functions on the camera. In part 2 I'm going to take you through all the functions I use day to day for still photography and how to set them up in the menu if you want to do the same. So strap yourself in because there's a lot to cover. And if you really want the full picture, be sure to watch part 2, which I'll publish as a separate video. Before we start, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you really get some value out of these videos, you can show your support by buying me a coffee. I'll put the link in the description below. Now right from the start, I want to point out that some of the features in these videos only became available with the firmware update 2.4 in June 2021. So you might feel a bit lost if you're still working with the old firmware. If you're not sure what version you're on, here's how you find out. Go to the menu and down to the 4th section, the one with the spanner, and then scroll through until you find a heading for version display. Click on that, and alongside body firmware you want to see the number 2.4. For people who still need to update their firmware, I'm putting a link to the Panasonic update page and also to the video I made about the update in the description as well. So here we go on a crash course in finding your way around the Lumix G9. First, let me point out the touchscreen, the joystick and the directional arrows around the rear control dial. These give you 3 different ways to navigate your way around many of the operations, and you'll see me using all of them at different times throughout the video. Add to those the control dials on top of the camera, which can also be used in a variety of ways, and you have navigation options to suit almost any preference. With that out of the way, we'll start in the most obvious place, and that's the menu. Everything that can be set up on this camera can be found in the menu. It's organised into chapters and pages, or you could call them sections and subsections. Once I'm in the menu, I do most of my navigating using the direction arrows, but you can also use the other navigation options I just showed you. So the menu gives you access to pretty much every setting and function, as I just said. But there are certain functions you're likely to use more than others, and the G9 also gives you quicker access to the ones you're going to need the most. Speaking of quick, the Function 2 button takes you into the Quick menu. This gives you immediate access to a list of the most commonly used functions, including photo style, metering mode, file quality, autofocus and release modes, white balance and more. You can even change your aperture and shutter speed, although you have dials on the camera body for that. Once again, you can navigate through the options using the touchscreen, the arrows and the joystick, and when you've made your selection you can click Set on the menu button or just half press your shutter button to return to your regular screen. To choose your focus mode, there's an easy switch near the top right of the camera. The top position is for autofocus single and can be set to AFF in the menu if you prefer. The second position is autofocus continuous, and the third is for manual focus. If you decide to use manual focus, there are a couple of handy on-screen features to make that easier, which I'll come to in part 2. In the centre of the switch there's also the AF/AE lock button, which can be customised to use a number of different functions. I've currently got mine set for back button focus, and if you're keen on back button focus, I'll show you how to set that up in part 2 as well. And while we're talking focus, the Function 1 button gives you quick access to your autofocus area modes. There's pinpoint, which isn't showing here because it only works in AFS. Then there's single area focus, custom multi where you can enable multiple focus points, 225 area which enables all the focus points, tracking which I never really use, and human animal detect, which is so much improved since the 2.4 firmware update. And within human animal detect you can choose between human only for portraits or human and animal if you're shooting wildlife. On top of the camera is the exposure mode dial where you choose between shooting in manual, aperture and shutter priority and program modes. It's also where you find the creative video mode, and you have 3 positions for saving your favourite shooting styles to the custom settings. In part 2 I'm going to show you how to save your custom settings if that's something you want to do. Just below the exposure mode dial is the release mode, and this is where you choose whether you want to shoot single shots or select one of the burst mode options. It also gives you access to 6K, post focus and the self timer, which can be set to a 2-second or 10-second delay. In part 2 I'll be setting up a couple of the options contained here as well. Just below that you'll find function 3, which enables your viewfinder options. You can use the viewfinder 3 different ways. Press function 3 once and it's viewfinder only. Press again and it's rear screen only. Press again and you can view the image on your rear screen, but when you put your eye up to the viewfinder and block the light to that tiny little sensor window, the image automatically switches to the viewfinder. Take your eye away and it pops back to the screen. For fairly obvious reasons, I think this is the option most people prefer. All that's left now on the back of the camera are the display button and the review button, so let's take a look at those. When you're in a shooting mode, display gives you different levels of information overlaid on the live image, from minimal info to lots of info, including a horizon leveler. There's also the option to remove the live image altogether and just have info only. Now when you press review, of course now you're reviewing your photos already taken. When you press display, you have some options for how much information you want to see, from no info at all to a review of basic settings, and also a more detailed look at shooting data. And while we're here, let's take a look at just how versatile the review options are. You can navigate through your images using a combination of the directional arrows, the joystick and the touchscreen. You can even use the control dials on top of the camera. And as you can see me doing here, using a combination of options, I can go forwards and backwards through the photos, I can enlarge and reduce the size of the image being reviewed, and when enlarged I can move my way around the image for a closer look. So if you have a preference on how you review your images, the G9 has an option for you. Okay, now to the top right hand side of the G9, and now I'm wishing I'd given my camera a better clean before I started this project. Positioned around that very useful info display we have a number of buttons. The red button is for your basic video function. Press it once to start shooting, press it again to stop. White balance, ISO and exposure compensation buttons are all found here, and you can select the setting you want by holding down a button and turning the rear control dial. On their own, the control dials are typically used to change the aperture and shutter speed. I shoot in manual, and by default on the G9, the front dial operates the aperture and the back dial operates the shutter speed. I prefer things the other way around, so I reverse them in the menu, and in part 2 I'm going to show you how to do that. So to choose my exposure settings, I use my finger for the shutter speed, my thumb for the aperture, and to change ISO I hold my finger down on that button while turning the rear dial. And that's our guided tour almost over. I do want to quickly mention these two buttons on the front of the camera because they're going to come up in part 2. These are your function 4 and function 5 buttons, and they can be customized to suit your preference. I'm using them for near shift and far shift autofocus, but there are literally dozens of options for how you might choose to use them. I'll show you how to set them up in the next video. And finally, one of the only items on the camera I've never used, at least not on purpose. Tucked in at the bottom on the other side of the camera is a switch. In position 1, the camera operates normally. Turn it to position 2 and the camera goes into silent shooting mode. That disables the mechanical shutter and also affects the range of available shutter speeds. I've knocked it once or twice by accident, so I can tell you from experience that if your camera ever starts acting really weird for no reason, just check to make sure you haven't knocked this switch. And of course, if you do want to use silent shooting mode, here's where you find it. And I think that about covers it. As I said at the start, if you're new to the G9 or thinking of buying one, this video should be a pretty useful guide to finding your way around the camera in 2021. But the Lumix G9 is also one of the most customizable cameras around, and there are lots of little choices you can make to the default settings to suit your style of photography. In part 2, I'm going to give you a full rundown of how I'm using the camera, and if you like the way I do things, you'll also find out how to set it all up in the menu. So keep an eye out for my next video. For now, I'm Andrew Goodall, this is Nature's Image Photography, thanks for watching.